Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Focus on Gaming podcast, episode 96. I'm Martin.
And I'm Duncan.
Hello. How are you, Duncan? Had a good
Evening.
week?
Yes, it's half term here, so kids have been off school, wife has been away, so I've looked after the kids all week. So played lots of Xbox because the wife has been around. So yeah,
Good. I'm glad you've played a lot of games,
yes.
considering we got to chat about games for the next hour or so. But
do we have to?
2 weeks in a row for me. This is like a rarity.
Hey, well done, you.
Getting back, becoming a full-time.
Well, I think the episode I didn't do was about episode 30-something, I think, something like that. I think it was the interview one.
They're going to Brian Cox.
So I'm on about 60-something in a row.
Year plus in.
And now we have our bite-size episodes. Wherever you subscribe, find them. So probably. Oh, technically, as I said to you just off air a second ago, we technically have had 100 episodes, but those have included bite-size. So we are actually 4 episodes away from 100, but we have had 100 episodes of different types. So
exciting
time.
Focus on Gaming podcast. But so, what have you been playing in your week? Where you?
The Game Pass games. There's been Simulator Heaven for anybody who likes simulator games. So there's a bite-sized episode I released today when we're recording on Sunday. Spray Paint Simulator, which pretty good if you like Power Wash Simulator. There you go. That's saved you 2 minutes of listening. But then there's also Police Simulator, which again I did a bite size for, and then there was Firefighter Simulator, which I'm probably going to do one. But basically, out of those 3, Firefighter Simulator and Spray Paint Simulator, yes. Police Simulator, yeah.
You get to arrest people on the Police Simulator.
Well, that's the problem. You just start. Yes, technically you can, but it's trying to be realistic. So, of course, the first thing you do, because it's an America-based, although it's a German game, it's an America-based thing. So you have a weapon, and so the first thing you do is go, oh, I'll get out, thanks. And somebody's walking past. I don't know. I don't like that person. Blam, and it just cuts the game out. It's not like naughty.
Not like Grand Theft Auto.
No, it's not Grand Theft Auto. And you just start by giving out parking tickets, and then you come back after doing a day of parking tickets, and then they go.
Is that police officers in America? Do they do parking tickets?
Well, I think if you're a low-level police officer, maybe. What are they? What is it they call them?
Civil enforcement officers in the UK, don't we?
Yeah,
it's done by the council.
Traffic wardens. What do they call them? Not trolley dollies.
What in America?
In America, yeah, the ones who do the parking meters. Anyway, you have to do all that, and then you go back after a day, and you come back the next day, and you've got to do that again. Okay. And yes, there is eventually that you're going out and arresting people, interrogating people, but it's just you have to build up to that. Whereas Firefighter Simulator, it's like, there's stuff on fire, go put it out. And that's basically it. And you have to put stuff out. You have to put fires out. You have to find electrical boxes. So, it's a bit of a, I won't say a puzzle, but it's a bit of a sort of, I've got to strategize. I've got to prioritize whether I do this or that or the other. So, So I enjoyed Firefighter Simulator, and I'm enjoying Spray Paint Simulator as well, because it's basically Power Wash Simulator, but painting. Unfortunately, you have to mask things, which is the one annoying bit of the game, which I do wish there was an auto masking things. button where you can go, do you want to do this? No, thank you. And then just go straight into the spray painting. So, yeah. But no, they're all good. They're all good. And I've very, very nearly finished Clair Obscur Expedition 33. It's so good. I mean, it's just, yeah. I haven't done a bite size of this because I tried to do one and it was about 20 minutes long.
Maybe you can that can be like the exception to the rule and have a
it could be a
bite size,
a really big mouthful size.
Yeah.
But it's such a good game. It looks beautiful. It's got the music is absolutely outstanding. The story really gets you into it, and then when you think it's just a basic story that's going to end when you've done this, you're like, oh no, I'm only 2/3 of the way through. And there's a whole another section of the game. Yeah, I obviously can't go into too much detail because it will spoil things, but it is absolutely the game of the year. Absolutely. And I unless something absolutely equally amazing comes out, which I don't think anything will, this will be winning all the Game of the Year awards. It's the same as Baldur's Gate when Baldur's Gate came out.
First.
Everyone was like, Baldur's Gate will win Game of the Year, and sure enough, it did. This will be winning all the Game of the Year. And if you're somebody who doesn't like turn-based games, tough, just give it a go. Give it a go and enjoy the story, enjoy the interaction, and just know that the exploration opens up as you go through the game, so you can explore more. You think that there's a very small map, but the map gets bigger, and then you've got more things that you could do with the way you traverse the world. So you can the world that's got bigger, or just sort of doubled in size because you can fly, because you can go underwater, that kind of thing. Yeah, it's just brilliant. It is fantastic, and I would highly recommend everybody's play it. But it will take you, I think, minimum of 25 hours, but probably 40 to 50 hours to complete.
So good chunk of time then, but you'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy every
very much so.
Not to go off on a bit of a tangent, but we do that a lot in this podcast. Just had me think when you were talking about the police in Sim. What's your favourite game where you're a police officer? Can you think of any? First of all, I can think of two.
Well, technically, the Max Payne games, you are a police officer.
Oh, I didn't even think of Max Payne. So
yeah, I mean, where you actually act as a police officer.
I was thinking True Crime. You're a police officer in True Crime, aren't you?
Yes. Oh, and Sleeping Dogs, which technically was I
never played Sleeping Dogs, but yeah.
Well, Sleeping Dogs was meant to be a true crime game. And whoever was making it, I think, got told, "Oh no, we're not going forward with that." And they went, "Oh, we're already making it. Let's do it." And it turned out to be the best game in the True Crime series, but wasn't to do with true crime. But no, I'd highly recommend it if you like sort of rhythmic action. The fighting, like in the Batman Arkham games. It's got that sort of fighting in it with GTA style. It's really good, and it's got really good game story as well. It's basically a policeman who goes undercover to find, I think it's find somebody, or I don't know. I can't remember. It has been quite a while, but yeah, it's Sleeping Dogs and True Crime. But
the other game that I was thinking of, which is a bit obscure, and it was a game on the PlayStation, Urban Chaos. Did you ever play that?
Oh, wasn't that like a? Yeah, no. It's one of these games that I think I possibly rented for a day, and never actually played it that much. So no, I can't remember what kind of game was it.
It was like you're a police officer. I can't really, because it was a while ago, but what I remember the most about it, before you could become a police officer, you have to do this like assault course.
Ooh.
Um,
Was it easy?
No, it was quite tricky, if I can remember, to get to do that bit. It was like a bit of platforming, but then when you're out and you're a police officer, you can just like arrest people, like, and so you have like the NPCs, and sometimes you walk past them and they say something to you, and that's it, instantly like punching them to the floor, arresting them. Or like I think you could search people on it as well, and like you could find drugs or whatever on them, and then if you could then arrest them. I might be wrong saying this because I would have been pretty young when this on, but I remember there was one, obviously different NPCs, but they would say the same thing if they weren't up for no good. You'd go over to them and they'd say, "Hi, officer. Bye, officer," and then they would start running. Street.
I wonder if they're a criminal.
Not too suspicious.
But speaking of tutorials that was difficult, one that you were a police officer as well and you were going undercover, driver.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, that mission, that garage mission to actually get into the game, because the rest of the game wasn't too difficult. But my god, me and my friends, I bought driver, and we just couldn't get into the actual game. Yeah, and we eventually, when we did we learned how to do it, and then we had to have a save point that was at the beginning, because it was just ridiculously hard
to make that as an opening. Probably your expectations of this game is going to be bloody tough after that, but
after that, I mean, a lot of the levels after that, all the missions were just sort of, follow this person, all right. And you just drive slowly behind somebody and we go, "Oh, you're getting a bit close." Okay, well, slow down then. But then this garage was like, you've got to do a donut, and you've got to slalom in amongst these posts, and then you've got to accelerate as fast as possible and brake right near the wall. And if you didn't do any part of it perfectly, that was it. You
once you've done it, I bet you felt really good.
Oh my god!
You've achieved.
Yes.
Talking of hard, not a hard game, but a hard part of the game. So I've been playing more Super Mario Wonder. And you did say to me a few weeks ago, Duncan, there are some really difficult levels on it.
6-star levels.
I can't remember. This one was 4 stars, but it was only a badge challenge, so I didn't have to do it. It was the Wall Jump 2 badge challenge. And they're not the longest levels on Super Mario Wonder. So it usually takes like about 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes most to go for a level, unless it's difficult. This one took me over half an hour just because of how you can't die on it because it's a bad challenge. But if you fell down, you would pretty much, you would, depending if you're unlucky and you missed all the platforms, you were pretty much starting it. I did it, but there was some bits on there where you had to be like perfect with your jumping. There's a bit near the end where you're on these moving platforms and you got to like.
Is it the one with the little green rectangles?
Yes.
Yeah, you got to jump. You've got to jump against them and on top of them.
Jump, and then you got to because it's a wall jump, you got to jump on it and you got to time it just right, and you got to press jump again and then land on the top. But some of them you had to, because
and if you wanted the extras as well, there were the extras you had to.
Yeah, I didn't even go for the extras.
And then you had rotating.
That's the bit at the end, and that is what. And you're right near the end, and then they bring in this bloody horrible rotation. Not only are you jumping, you're having to move up and stand on the top, and then do your jump before it starts rotating again. And then the last rotating one, you have to find the perfect angle, because if they were both dead on, you couldn't jump onto it because you were just jumping and hitting it. So you had to like get it perfectly so you could jump off your one onto the new platform. To the point where I was like, I'm gonna have to like I was close to going on YouTube and just watching someone do it, but I did it in the end without having to go into YouTube. Even though if I went on YouTube, I don't think it would have made any difference because I knew what I needed to do was doing it. But one though, I did go on YouTube. There was like this one level where it was you had to, so they hid these coins. You had to find all the coin, or no, the seeds. They hid the seeds. I think there was 5 in total. You had to find them, and if you found them, you got the seed at the end, like the actual magic seed or whatever they're called. And I found 4 or 5. There was one left, and I just couldn't find it for the life of me. So I went on YouTube, and this is my only criticism of the game because I've loved every minute apart from this. You could only do it if you were the elephant. So I was going around, I had the bubble, I was like flying out bubbles and stuff like that. And I was like going around jumping everywhere, thinking like there must be like a block that like is hidden. So I YouTubed it. And then the person, they got to the last one, which was the one I couldn't find. The elephant, they jumped in the air, did their like trunk thing, and then it like hit a block and then it appeared. And I was like, I would never have known, like, if I didn't go on YouTube, because there's nothing to say you need to be on the elephant suit to do this. And I didn't have the elephant suit at the time, so then I had to go back to another level to get the elephant suit.
To get the elephant suit, to get it.
Go back on it to do that. So that was my only, like, because I was thinking, like, how would you have known, like, you needed that elephant suit? But
And this is the thing, I think, with a lot of Mario's. I think more the more recent ones than obviously Mario World and earlier is the fact that you've got to think more. And I think the beauty of things like Super Mario World, although there was levels where you had to think how you had to complete it, kind of thing. It was just, how do I complete this level? And now it's sort of, oh, well, you've got this ability. Oh, no, you haven't got this ability. Well, go here and it will make things easier. Go to this level and do this, and go to this level and do it. And if you want 100% something, you've got to play for 50 hours instead of 10. Now, granted, that's great in terms of money's worth. I need to play this level and I need to complete this. But sometimes, some of us, we just want to go, no, I want to go further in the game and complete the game. And I think that's possibly what you want to do.
I just want to, yeah. I mean, I'm not like a complete...
You want to kill Bowser, don't you?
But when I'm on the level, I want to get all the seeds that are possible. I don't care about the big pink coins that much. I'm like, if I get them, I get them. But like the seeds, I want to get the seeds because you get a seed for completing the level, but then you also get it for the wonder bit, don't you? So, trying to figure things out. But it was, there would have been no way of you knowing, like working that out on your own, unless you went on in the elephant suit just by chance, because it wasn't obvious. It wasn't like, oh, that bit I'm going to need to be an elephant. It was just, you just jumped in the air and you did in the random place and did your trunk and it like hit a random block. Whereas I was trying to do it with the bubbles. I was jumping up that specific bit, hitting bubbles out and nothing was happening. So it had to be an elephant suit, which...
But as you said, though, you are enjoying the game, though.
Yeah, it is. I personally, I know, Tom, probably yourself, but it is the best Mario game I've ever played.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of 2D, the fact that it brings it all back to 2D is just absolutely brilliant, and it plays brilliantly. It's got some really clever levels, and it's Nintendo at their finest. And, the people that create that game should be applauded because it's been obviously created with a love of the gaming, not just the love of Mario, but a love of gaming and a knowing what people will enjoy. Yeah, and I think it's absolutely fantastic.
The levels are, you know, with Nintendo, you're going to get really good, but the added bit with the wonder bit, because you're doing a level and then all of a sudden there's something different.
Yeah.
So if it's like having to jump on bubbles to get to the top or something.
It
adds to the game. I mean, I'm someone who, unlike you and Tom, I prefer like the 3D Mario games to the 2D ones, but really, this is one of my favorite ever Mario games, and that includes the 3D ones. So
there you go. 2D's the best.
The games, you're clever enough, and the level design's good enough.
It's something that I just haven't understood, is that how people can look at Mario World. I don't think that like Mario 64 is rubbish. I don't think that. I think it's nothing to do with Super Mario World, and it's just, and I much prefer Super Mario World and Super Mario Wonder to Super Mario 64 because they're different games. But I don't know. That's a me thing. So,
but then Mario 6 was the first one, so it's created what it is today in terms of the 3D Mario.
I'm not somebody. I really hate when people say, "Oh, that's trash." That is. No, it's not trash. It's just not me. I don't get it, and it's not my cup of tea. So, yeah, if other people say it's the best game ever, excellent. Well done, you.
Talking of Mario, it's probably a good segue.
That's a good segue. Yep.
Which it launches this week,
5th of June. Yes. So this episode will be out on the 2nd. So people will be enjoying their Switch 2s at home 3 days after this episode comes out. And yeah, so we talked about the hardware. Because I've played on one, and yeah, hardware is fantastic. But there are, for what I can gather, 24 games that are coming to the Switch 2 at launch. Now, when we say there's 24 games coming to Switch 2, I mean, should I do a boring thing and just do a quick?
Go on,
24. Right, I won't do the full titles with some of them because it's like the first one is Arcade Archives 2 Ridge Racer. So it's Ridge Racer. Anyway, Ridge Racer, Bravely Default, Cyberpunk 2077, Deltarune, Fantasy Life I, Fast Fusion, Fortnite, Hitman World of Assassination, Hogwarts Legacy, Kunitsu Gami, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Mario Kart World, Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, Nabunga's Ambition Awakening, Puyo Puyo Tetris 2S, Rune Factory Gardens of Azuma, Sid Meier's Civilization 7, Sonic X Shadow Generation, Split Fiction, Street Fighter 6, Suikoden 1 and 2, HD Remaster, Survival Kids, and Yakuza 0. Now, I don't know if you noticed from any of those, but most of those are old games. Yeah, you did, because you do.
I did, yeah. There's only one game that really stands out on that list. Which is Mario Kart World. And
Mario Kart World.
Good games like Split Fiction.
Oh yeah, I mean, you've got such fantastic.
The Zelda games, but
playing Cyberpunk 2077 in a handheld, especially a handheld from Nintendo, is absolutely outstanding. Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy is a great game. Kunitsu Gami was one of my contenders for Game of the Year last year. Hitman World of Assassination would be one of my contenders for best game of all time. Split Fiction, absolutely love that. It's an outstanding game. Street Fighter 6 got great reviews. Yakuza 0, people absolutely love most of the Yakuza games. And then you got Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom. Outstanding games, but you can play all these on a
you could
a Steam Deck.
Have a Steam Deck.
In fact,
I mean,
you can play Switch games on the Steam Deck. Not that obviously I would encourage that because that would be piracy, but So
the only one on there, apart from the welcome Nintendo one, which the game that you could pay
if
for.
you are buying a Nintendo Switch 2 and you're going to buy Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, you need to look at yourself, really. Yeah, don't buy it. Because it should be free. It should be free. That absolutely should be free. Even if it does have a brilliant Nintendo shine to it, it still should be free.
How good Astro Boy was, and that was free. So
exactly.
Doesn't matter if it's really good. If it's a game just to show you what the hardware does.
Exactly. It's a demo. No. I mean, I suppose we should clarify. I'm not anti people buying the Switch 2. I'm not. If Nintendo and the ecosystem, it's like Apple. If the Nintendo ecosystem works for you, then that's great. But if you are somebody who's struggling for money, or you're like, I can only buy one thing, and I can't afford many games, don't get a Nintendo. It's a great piece of hardware. It's got great games, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, out of that list, Mario Kart World is the one that stands out.
Yeah, it's great. It's great fun.
And as much as I do like Mario Kart games, they are very much, a game you would play with your friends and stuff. Whereas if you're getting a home, you're getting a console, I don't know. I just feel like you'd want a game that you can, like a big game, like a 3D Mario game or something like. The Switch. Whereas Mario Kart, if you're going to have launch, you get it on the launch, you got your friends come around. But then when your friends aren't there anymore, you can play Mario Kart on your own and you can play online. But
what's missing from that lineup that you were looking forward to?
Well, I thought the Donkey Kong game was
exactly. Yeah, I mean it isn't long till it's coming out. I think it's July. I think it's meant to be coming out.
Not a long wait. I know Metroid Prime is coming out at the end of the year, so that's a bit far away. But I just thought they would be like, you think of all the Mario games that they
all the first-person games,
all the Nintendo, like Mario parties and
so Donkey Kong Bonanza comes out on July the 17th.
So, potentially quite a long wait. Then, if you're looking forward to like Nintendo first-party games, you've got Mario Kart World, and then not really much for over a month.
So in the grand scheme of things, waiting a month and a half for another great game to come out is not that big a deal. And there are, in that list, if you haven't played things like Cyberpunk, if you haven't played Split Fiction, if you haven't played Hogwarts Legacy, because for whatever reason, playing them on that hardware is gonna be fantastic. You are gonna love those games. Most of those games, if you are buying, I say in inverted commas, the physical editions, are going to be just download keys on a cartridge. That's it. There are some developers that are saying they are going to put games on cartridges, but they are vastly outnumbered by the ones who are just putting keys on a cartridge.
The only thing I'll add is the 2 Zelda games. If you have them on the Switch, then it's free. The Switch 2 versions. So
okay. I know they said they announced some of the upgrade prices. I didn't know that they'd announced that.
So
okay. Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. Then you've got 2 amazing games. Then if you've got those games, you've probably played them and completed those games, haven't you? So, but you've got a
hang on.
There a but.
There is a but. The Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack members.
Okay, so you have to have a membership.
Will get a free.
Not only about £30 a year, isn't it? The expansion pack membership.
Yeah, I'm just free Switch performance packs. So I mean, and also I think what the games that we've said about today, they are the ones that will have physical, in inverted commas, editions. There are going to be probably hundreds of games available on the online. All the typical probably store stuff and probably older things like I think they're like Wii U games and other Mario games and such like. They will all be available day one. So here you go. Oh yeah, so Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is £7.99 or $9.99. And that's the same for Tears of the Kingdom. So you only get it if you get the upgrade if you have the expansion pack. So Super Mario Party Jamboree TV, £16.99, like £16.99. The upgrade is. Wow. No, I don't. They are actually they're not just doing a resolution bump. This isn't this isn't £17. There are extras coming with this, so it is DLC basically. But it does save you paying £50 for a whole new game that you've already got. So, but at the same time, just do something that upgrades the visuals. That's probably easier for you as a company, and don't charge £17. And I don't think you have to do these. I think you could. There is backwards compatibility, so you can still play the games. Maybe, so. Yes, I think you can, can't you?
I'm going to Google it.
I believe the Legend of Zelda you can play on Switch 2, but I don't think you can if you own it digitally. And if you own the cartridge, because So
I think Switch arrives on the 5th of June with nearly full backward compatibility, but not every title makes a cut.
Yeah, I don't think the only ones that they've said. Well, they haven't said which ones aren't, but I think it's basically things like Ring Fit. Yeah, has a space for the Joy-Cons on the Switch 1. So they're not going to fit the Switch 2 Joy-Cons. So any Switch 2 game is not going to be compatible.
Labo,
with Labo, Labo again will not fit. So it's anything that has an accessory, and you have to have the accessory. You won't be able to play, and that's the only reason why they did that. Was it Kirby and the Forgotten Land? £17 again for their upgrade. Ugh. But you don't have to. You don't have to buy them.
If you have them, you can just
carry on playing on your new device. Now, I don't know exactly how things like save transfers and all that kind of thing works on Nintendo Switch. Is there cloud saves? There is cloud saves, isn't there?
There is, yeah. I think that's part of the
So fingers crossed,
membership.
you will be able to carry on your Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom saves, because that's the other thing. It's like, I'll pay £8 for an upgrade. Excellent. Oh, I can't actually play my old save game. Oh, then I'll just play it without the upgrade. Then thanks. If you put like 80 hours into that game, then you're not going to want to restart, really, are you? So, but right. So, is there any other games that you would be interested if you had a Switch 2 in front of you? Ridge Racer. Any love for Ridge Racer? I mean, it is basically Ridge Racer, as in the arcade game that was on PlayStation 1. By the looks of it, it's nothing special. Yeah, Ridge Racer. No,
I think out of the ones you went through, Cyberpunk, the two Zelda games, Mario Kart World, Split Fiction, Hogwarts is probably, and maybe Street Fighter. But as we were saying, the majority of them you could just play anywhere on a different console. So it's only Mario Kart World that is the only one that you need to switch to play. So in terms of other launches, what's been
indeed.
what's your experience of?
I've been around for quite a few of them. Yeah, so
have you got a console on launch?
Yes, I got the PlayStation 2 on launch. I unfortunately won't. I got it with Tekken Tag Tournament, and it came with a demo disc. I can't remember what was on the demo disc, but yeah, I would Tekken Tag Tournament, and I was living with people at that point, so we absolutely loved it. It was absolutely amazing. The only problem was that because it was the early days of DVD, I got one that had a dodgy DVD laser. So all the DVDs that we put into it were coming up green. And so, I had a whole big thing of returning that. But it meant that I got a replacement. And it was like, yeah, I got a replacement finally, because it took weeks of arguing with the store, with Sony, everybody about who actually had to replace it. But eventually, I got a replacement, and it was like, yeah, put the game in, worked fine, because the games worked fine. Put a DVD in, green. Everything was green. And I tried it on a different TV, everything. So I took it back. I was like, do you know what? Just give me the money back. And I went out and got a Dreamcast. And yeah, so I got Dreamcast.
DVD not working with the Dreamcast, did you?
No, because it wasn't Dreamcast. It was what they called GD-ROMs, I think they were called. Part of the reason why the Dreamcast failed was because of the GD-ROMs, because they were so easy to copy. But yeah, it was just, although we missed having a Tekken Tag Tournament, which was absolutely amazing. We got then Soul Calibur, which
was also a launch,
which was
the Dreamcast, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely outstanding game as well. And you had the online, and you had like a web browser, and all this, and it was so good, so good. But yeah, in terms of launch quality, I mean, Choo Choo Rocket came with the Dreamcast, and as a puzzle game. As puzzle games go, that is one of the classics. I don't know if you've ever played it. Basically, you have a grid that's about, I think you have different sizes actually, but basically probably about 20 by 20 blocks, and you have to put arrows that directs your choo-choos, which are basically like little mice, and they direct the mice to the exit. But there's also like robot cats or something like that that go around that also head, and things just head on an automatic path, and you have to direct them to the exit and make sure that the cat doesn't eat them or get to the exit before them. And even to this day, I believe you could download the ROM and download that you can connect and download user-created levels. Even to this day.
Wow. Just shows the popularity of the game.
Yep.
People still...
Now, I don't know whether that's because somebody else has made it, so it can still do that. But yeah, it was because I did that last year on my Steam Deck, and I was like, oh, I really wish there was more levels, because that's one thing as well. This game was really hard when I got it back in 2000 and whatever, 2001, I suppose it would have been. And yeah, I played it last year, and I was like, oh, yeah, done that level, done that level. And I was like, oh, you completed it. Oh, okay. So either I got more intelligent, or I was possibly just drunk all the time when back in 2001, maybe, and just didn't know how to play it.
A time for heavy drinking.
Indeed, I would have been mid-20s. So yeah, I was probably not the most soberest of people.
No. Yeah.
But yeah, so out of the two, PlayStation 2 and Dreamcast, I would say Dreamcast had the better launch titles.
I mean, Soul Calibur shooting rocket on its own.
And Sonic Adventure. Sonic Adventure is still to this day an amazing game. Whereas PlayStation 2, it had the EA Sports kind of games, had Fantavision, it had Ridge Racer 5, it had Unreal Tournament, which you couldn't play online. We've had From Software tonight. They had Armored Core 2 on PlayStation 2 as a launch game in North America. So but in Europe they only had 7 games.
Time Splitters. They did have Time Splitters.
Yeah, well, you see, I've seen that was a supposedly one, but I'm just looking at this list. I can't see Time Splitters on it. Maybe it was within the launch window, I would say, probably. On the European one release, there was, and I remember there was only 7 games: Fantavision, Midnight Club Street Racing, Orphan, Scion of Sorcery, Ready to Rumble Boxing Round 2, Ridge Racer 5, Silent Scope, and Tekken Tag Tournament. Now, Silent Scope was crap because you didn't have the scope. Ridge Racer 5 was like, yeah, okay, we're not rich. They got that in there because they knew it wouldn't sell after about a year. Ready to Rumble Boxing Round 2, that was okay. But not a classic. I think that was the one that had Michael Jackson in it. Orphan, Sign of Sorcery, couldn't tell you anything about that. Midnight Club Street Racing, it was okay. It was a racing game. And Fantavision was limited. It was very boring. After a while, it was very pretty at the time, but that was basically it was there to make it look good. Not great. There was a few more in North America. None of any particular great, sort of woo. There was Evergrace and Eternal Ring, Disney Warriors 2, but it's I would give the win out of those two to Dreamcast. Yeah. What about Nintendo though? What's been
Yeah,
what's been your best Nintendo release? Because if you go by numbers, then the best actually is Wii. The Wii had 29 games at launch, and that's a great games. Twilight Princess.
Yeah, that was a game. That was a GameCube game, but yeah, released.
Need for Speed Carbon. They had actually Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Rayman Raving Rabbids. But then Wii Sports. Wii Sports was what everybody wanted, wasn't it? Japan had WarioWare and Wii Play as well. In Europe, we had Call of Duty 3 and Red Steel. So that was okay, but there's no classics there except for Wii Sports, personally. Whereas if we go to N64,
you had Mario 64.
There was 3 games, and there was Super Mario 64, Pilot Wings 64, and in Australia and Europe, Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. I'm just looking at the Japanese games, and there was... I don't know what it is because it's in... here we go. I've clicked on it, and it says the name. Saikyo Habu Shogi. So, yeah. And it's just got a picture of a guy that looks like a paedophile. Shogi's a game, isn't it? I think. I think, is it? Let's have a look. Shogi is a game. It's, I don't know, it's got like a chessboard kind of thing. But yeah, so there was a Shogi game. Not great. But yeah, so which would you say is better out of those? The Wii or the N64 that had Mario 64 and Pilot Wings 64?
I mean, quantity, it's a Wii, isn't it? But I think just because it's got Mario 64,
there you go.
It's one of the best games that, in my opinion, one of the best games that have ever been made. So, and I know like the Wii had Twilight Princess, and I'm a big Zelda fan, but it was
a GameCube game. You said,
released on, but the NES and the SNES had like Super Mario Brothers, didn't they? So
a Duck Hunt, golf, tennis. Oh, hang on, just look at. Was Super Mario actually a launch title? Ooh, here we go. NES. Was Super Mario a launch title? Yep. Packaged with the system. Super Mario Brothers. Yeah, apparently it was. This list that I've got up on here just is rubbish. But yeah, Duck Hunt and Super Mario. Which would you say is better then? The NES or the N64?
Yeah, I'm gonna say for me,
the N64.
All my age is the N64, but it was a bit. I mean,
here's the big one though for me. You've got the N64 and the SNES, because the SNES has Super Mario World and F-Zero.
Yeah, so you could compare those Super Mario 64 and Pilot Wings, or Lilac Wars, it was called in.
Yes.
Lilac Wars
Lilac Wars was Star Fox, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm getting them muddled up. Pilot Wings isn't Star Fox.
Pilot Wings is the flying one, wasn't
it? Yeah. Then I don't know. Then
it was we Europe. Was it Europe where it was called Lilac Wars, or was that?
Yeah. Lilac Wars a year, and then in America.
Because I remember at that point it was when yes, the internet was in its infancy, so people did have it, but also you had magazines that had all Star Foxes out in Japan, blah blah blah, and everything. They came over here. They went, "It's Lilac Wars," and everyone went, "Huh?"
Why?
Star Fox is such a better name. So, oh, pardon me. For me, so far, of all the launches that we've talked about, I'm still going to stick with the Dreamcast. Actually, I mean, I'm looking now at PS3. See, PS3 as well had a load of EA games and NBA games, Resistance, Tony Hawk's Project 8, Call of Duty 3. Yes. Oh, blimey. Apparently, Sonic the Hedgehog, PS3. Tekken 5, Splinter Cell Double Agent. But there wasn't any classics in PlayStation 3. PlayStation 1, however, did have. It didn't have any classics, but I think the fact that it was so good, I think it's such a breakthrough in terms of 3D graphics. It had Wipeout. It did have Wipeout. And Battle Arena Toshinden, which wasn't a classic fighter game, but was a good, and it was 3D. So, but
on on your list, because I think your list is a bit more accurate. What about Xbox, the original Xbox? I know Halo was a launch game. And
here we go.
Halo is one of the
Xbox 25 launch titles. If we go by North America, we had Cell Damage, Dead or Alive 3. Of course, the big one, Halo Combat Evolved.
Yeah.
A couple of NASCAR games, Project Gotham Racing, another. Well, to be honest, the pinnacle was number 4, but you'd expect it to be the pinnacle. PGR4 was absolutely outstanding. That was a few of the games. Okay, I mean, with Halo, Dead or Alive 3, yeah, not too bad at Project Gotham. Europe also had Batman Vengeance, Amped Freestyle Snowboarding, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, which obviously had been out on previous devices anyway. So still, I would still not put that as groundbreaking as Dreamcast.
I'll stick with the Dreamcast.
I'm sticking with it. Jet Set Radio Future actually was obviously a sequel to Jet Set Radio. So that was in Japan though, 2002. We got it. Hang on, November 2001. We got it about four months after the US, the original Xbox.
I was just going to say, I do feel like newer consoles now, because they got their subscription services, they probably don't have as much pressure.
And backwards compatibility as well.
Backward compatibility, because back, when we're talking, Xbox time, Dreamcast time sort of time, they didn't have. I know they could make their consoles backward compatibility. Well, Xbox and couldn't, because it was the first ever Xbox console, but they didn't have their online services. So whatever was out, you just had to. So there's probably, like I said, more pressure to have games on launch date to get people to buy the console.
Yeah, very much so. Very much.
Whereas now, they can launch a console like
and go, we've got 3,200 games.
If you just have your Nintendo membership, then you've got all these games available to you.
Well, just to get into the what I was saying about earlier, you can play all those games on the Steam Deck. You can get an LCD Steam Deck for £350. And that comes with Steam, which has something ridiculous like 250,000 games or something stupid like that. So and that's the thing that Steam has been able to do, is what you were saying was they've already got games.
Yeah.
Because the Steam is obviously PC is an open thing, but now Nintendo can say we have got 360 games available at launch, because they're not actually got 360 games. They've just got games that are compatible that you can play. So unfortunately, it sort of almost it doubles down on the get yourself a Steam Deck. Or if you're willing to risk it, keep an eye out on the ROG Ally Xbox handheld that is supposedly coming out this year. It hasn't even been announced. But if you like Mario and you really want to play Mario Kart World, then it's a fantastic piece of kit. Would I? See, the thing is, even if I was a massive Mario Kart fan, I'd be looking at Mario Kart World and going, okay, it looks slightly prettier. I mean, they started it off, as we've heard in the news recently, that they started off as a game that was meant to be for the Switch 1. So it isn't a massive increase in graphical fidelity. Now, it runs really well, which is probably thanks to the hardware. And they're not releasing it on the Switch 1, are they? No. So it obviously does do things that the Switch 1 would struggle with. But at the end of the day, the races that I played when I played on the Switch 2 were just Mario Kart games. They weren't. There was the open world things that you could do and whatnot, but mostly it was Mario Kart and here's a level. But I think if you like what's it called, Forza Horizon, and you think Forza Horizon is better games than Forza Motorsport, then you will think that Mario Kart World is better, and it is. And it possibly is a better game than Mario Kart 8. But is it worth buying a £400 console and then obviously you can get a package, but a £75 game to so was it for, I think it's £430, I think the package one. So is it worth buying both of them? No. I'm going to say no. Feel free to disagree, or anybody listening to disagree.
I don't disagree. I think there's not enough at this moment in time to justify. No.
I think it will sell very, really well.
Yeah. If you're a Switch fan, then you are going to, and you are going to like it, and you will eventually get the games will come on because Nintendo.
Yeah, we're not saying don't buy it because it is a piece of crap. We're saying don't buy it because there's nothing to warrant the cost.
Can you? I mean, I haven't even had a look because I haven't been trying to get one. But obviously, when the Xbox and the PlayStation 5 came out, there was a big issue of availability and scalpers.
No, they have obviously pre-orders have run out, but they have done it where people who have got a subscription could pre-order. So that has cut down on the amount of scalpers and everything. There will probably still be some people trying on eBay on Thursday. I can imagine there'll be some on eBay at like £600 kind of thing. But I think those people are just hedging their bets for people who can really spend the money. I don't think it will be as I don't think it'll be as bad as when the Switch came out and and the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. That the PlayStation 5, I think, is a year after it came out, was still in some countries, like in the US, people were still saying I can't get hold of one. Now, in the UK, it wasn't so bad. I think within a couple of months, it wasn't too bad. There would be a period of like a week or so when people could get one, and then they'd run out, and then like a few weeks later, people could get one again.
Yeah, I got a Series S at the end. It's the first one out of the new consoles, just because it was the first one that became.
I was lucky enough to get. I got a Series X at launch. So you're saying about which ones did I get at launch? Yeah, I got a Series X at launch. I almost didn't get one because I ordered it through Amazon, and on the day of launch, they messaged me saying, "Hi, oh yeah, there's a problem with your delivery. You'll be getting one the next day or something like that." And I take the day off work, so I messaged them and went, "No, I ordered one, and you said you'd deliver on this day, so I'll get one on this day, please. Thank you." And all credit to them. Within an hour, I got a message saying, we've made sure you're getting one, because I complained. So shows the power of complaining. So if anybody is ordering one and you get told, "Oh, actually, well, just complain," and most companies will go, "Oh, sorry, you complained." So I probably did take an Xbox Series X off somebody else. So sorry to that person, but I had ordered one on launch day, but I opened up my desktop browser and opened up about 20 tabs and just clicked add to basket on each tab, and eventually one of them went added. So I was like, quick, buy it, and I got it. But I don't know if you've ever tried it in the digital age, but it took about 3 hours for the email to come through that said I'd had a pre-order. So I was sitting there sort of like, "Oh, I don't know if it's gone through." And eventually,
I remember like with the last lot of the Series X, sitting in the queue in like game on an online queue, not physical queue, and you just see it, and then you'd be like, I don't know, it'd say you're where you are, 200 or whatever, and then it'd say they're sold out, and you'll be like, I've been sat here refreshing like for about an hour just to be told that they've ran out of and
I did also have a Steam Deck technically from launch. What Steam Deck did was Valve said that you had to have had a
Steam account.
A Steam account for at least 6 months. No, or at least a year, and you had to have made a purchase in the last 6 months. Now, luckily, I'd actually made a purchase in the last 6 months because I bought something that was a few pennies. So I had a purchase. So again, it completely crashed their website, and I was refreshing, and I purchased, and eventually it went through 41 minutes after the launch, and it went through, and I then had to, because they launched the first Steam Decks in February 2022, and it was in order of they sent them out in order when people had bought them, and somebody on Reddit made a what you had to put your order number in or something like that, and it would tell you roughly when yours would be sent out, and so I had to wait till May. So I did have to wait for 3 months, but technically mine was a launch Steam Deck. And now, for the same price as that, you can get a what you call it, an OLED one. So it's a bit more, but I bought the 256 gig of LCD, which is now available for £349. So £50 less than the Switch 2. But the OLED, the 512 gigabyte OLED, is £480 brand new, and £570 for the 1 terabyte OLED. Now, obviously the storage is a lot better than the Nintendo Switch as well, because 256 gigabyte absolutely destroys the Switch. I don't know what storage Switch to onboard storage, because doesn't it? It has it has 256 gigabyte. There you go. That's not too bad. I can imagine Cyberpunk is probably going to take up. Oh, it won't be 1080. It won't be 4K. So I can imagine it's still, especially the fact that it's the Ultimate Edition, so it's got the DLC. It's probably still going to be around the 100 gigabyte. And Hitman on Xbox and PC is over 100 gigabyte as well. So if you're going to buy Cyberpunk and Hitman, say goodbye to your storage. That's all your storage gone. So, Martin, are you going to buy a Nintendo Switch 2?
Not at the moment. But while we were talking, I was having a look, and you can't buy them in any shops. Like, I checked Game Curry's.
No, Game have actually been in the news. They've cancelled some pre-orders.
And so you can't actually buy any. So even if I wanted to, I guess I could go on my Nintendo account and pre-order one. If you're saying that you can do that, but yeah, even if I could, I would wait. I think until some more games are out. I'm happy with my Xbox and my Switch at the moment, because other than Mario Kart World, there's nothing I can't do.
And Game Pass at the moment, I think we had episode. This is episode 96. So episode, I want to say 93 was what a time to have Game Pass, because with things like Clair Obscur,
you've had
all the simulators. Yes, Doom. It's such a good time to have Game Pass. But if anybody listening is buying a Switch 2 and you think we're talking out of our backsides, let us know.
Also, if anyone else has a different opinion on not a different opinion, but if there's anyone else has their own opinion on their favorite launch console, their opinion on what was the best launch.
You know, Tom's is probably going to be something like the Atari Jaguar, isn't it?
Oh yeah, probably like all the Virtual Boy.
Yeah. We shall ask Tom what his favourite launch console was.
He'll be able to tell us himself on the one of the episodes, but
hopefully a future episode. But anyway, we've got on for an hour and 8 minutes. Blimey. Right. So, focusongaming.co.uk. And if you're buying and opening a Switch 2, let us know. And we hope you enjoy it.
Yeah. You're getting a good
console. You're getting a great piece of kit. You're locked into the Nintendo ecosystem. So probably should have bought a Steam Deck. But anyway, no, sorry, you are getting a great piece of kit. Sorry, I'll shut up there.
And if people who had the Switch, they wouldn't have regretted getting the Switch. So the Switch 2 is just going to be like an upgrade on that, isn't it? And
yeah, if you want to upgrade on your Switch 1, perfect. But on that note, like and subscribe. And right, we'll see you on the next episode, episode 97. It'll be next, and listen to our bite-sized episodes. So yeah, right, bye.
Bye.